Again, I want to welcome everyone for coming. And one of the things about Chicano and Chicano studies is that we always want to put an educational twist on it. This year marks the 50th year of Chicano studies in Pueblo, Colorado. And we're celebrating a year-long event from September 16th to September 16th of 2022. This event marks our third event for this academic semester. We had a keynote speaker to come in tonight that I'm sorry to say, due to COVID, and we've had a lot of COVID issues, but we're still doing well, that she could not make it. We were going to try to see if we could do Zoom her in, but this area doesn't really allow for that. But anyway, are you there? Yeah. The individual that was going to be speaking tonight is Dr. Luz Cobian, Dr. Cobian. She was an individual that I really wanted to highlight regarding Aldea de los Muertos here on campus. She was the inspiration. I believe we've been doing this for almost over 25 years. We're probably one of the first programs that really started pushing Aldea de los Muertos and trying to educate our community regarding the historical nature and how it's related to the people here in Pueblo. It goes back to the Mexicas, the Aztecas, and it's celebrated throughout the Americas. It's also a way to honor those that have gone and passed before us, and to welcome them back to this world. And generally, we'll have Victoria Ruiz speaking about some of the information about the altar. So, Aldea de los Muertos here on campus started off by one of my students out of the social work program under the Chicano studies students under Dora Luz. Dora Luz Cobian was one of our early Chicano studies coordinators. And in that process, this one student was doing a community event. And what she did as a group of students, they got together and they built one altar. And part of it, they educated some of the other students regarding what different things of the altar meant. And from that one little altar, Dora Luz created an event that took place every year that included the participation of every student organization. So I would really like to thank her, and if you see her, and I want to share this with her, that we thank Dr. Cobian for all the contributions that she's made on this campus. But here's the other thing. By educating our students and they graduate, they go into our communities and they end up sharing the information and knowledge that they gained here. And I'm happy to say that tonight, and I'm sorry that we're competing kind of, but Pueblo Historical Museum, here in Pueblo Museum, is also having their annual Aldea de los Muertos. And if you take a look at the history of that, it started with our graduates. It started with students that left us and went on into the community. So I deeply appreciate all the work that Dr. Cobian has done. And I also want to thank Grupo Sochi for their wonderful performance. And I just also want to thank Joelle. All of these events are videotaped and they will be put into the Chicano movement archives. And at this point, I would like to introduce The program assistant for our 50th year, Victoria Ruiz. She is one of our graduates, and we're so lucky to have her. Victoria. And I also want to recognize my deans here, Dr. Letitia Stefan, who has been a strong supporter of Chicano studies in this event. And I believe Rhonda Gonzalez. Okay, she was here. She's also a strong supporter, and she's the dean of the Colorado Chicano Movement Archives. Before I have Victoria here, I just want to make an announcement that next Wednesday, November the 10th, we will have our 4th event, which will be honoring our Chicano veterans. They were during the time of the Vietnam War, and they will be talking about their experience as being a veteran and returning to the United States and their work with the movement. That's at 11 o'clock on November the 10th. We're thinking that lunch will be provided. You're all welcomed, and I hope to see you there. And I am happy to introduce Victoria Ruiz, our program assistant for the 50 years of Chicano studies in Pueblo. Victoria.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you everyone for coming and for participating in our Dia de los Muertos event. I'm currently going to be talking a little bit about the history of Dia de los Muertos and the significance of each item that we place on our altar. Day of the Dead is a unique tradition celebrated every year on November 1st and 2nd across Mexico and other parts of Latin America. It is a festival aimed at honoring one's dead ancestors on the date when their souls are believed to return to Earth. As the Latinx and Chicanx communities are large and diverse across various countries, so are the ways Dia de los Muertos is celebrated. However, there are a few traditions that have become a staple to the holiday beyond borders and generations. First, in Mexico, the first day of the holiday is also known as el Dia de los Angelitos, or the Day of Our Little Angels. This refers to the dead children whose passed on spirits are the first to arrive in our world before the adults on November 2nd, because they're quicker on their feet. Altars with offerings, called ofrendas, are common at the cemetery, right over where the deceased lay or in the homes of their living relatives. The purpose of these is to honor family members who have passed and for living family members to use this opportunity to ask their dead for guidance. By appealing to them with offerings like food, drinks, items of personal significance, and anything they might enjoy on the other side. Altars are usually multiple levels, usually 3 or 7 layers. The most common are those that are divided into 3 sections. The ground level, called el entrada, or the opening, the mid-tier section with a table of offerings, and the highest level representing heaven, where photos of the dead are hung alongside religious images. The mid-tiers, often adorned with items of clothing or small items that belong to the dead, and the very top level of the altar is typically reserved for images of saints and crucifixes and loved ones who have passed. Placement isn't the only thing that's important to consider when building your altar, though. Every item has significance. For instance, candles help light the way home for spirits. Water helps quench the thirst of spirits after they make the journey home. Soap helps the spirits of the dead bathe and clean while they are back on earth. Food to help feed the spirits after their long journey. Salt represents the continuance of life. Marigolds, known as cempasúchil, are flowers that symbolize death and have a strong fragrance that also helps lead the dead back to their altars. This specific aspect of the altar is a tradition that goes back to the holiday's indigenous origins. Incense, specifically the scent of copal, is said to guide the spirits as well. Pan de muerto, or bread of the dead, is a symbol of the departed, while calaveras de azúcar, or sugar skulls, are also symbols of death and the afterlife. One of the most iconic characters to represent this holiday is Vagabrina, the tall female skeleton wearing a fancy hat with feathers. That was created by Jose Guadalupe Posada in the 1900s. Often, people will paint their faces to represent Vagabrina and other sugar skull styles. All in all, the Day of the Dead is a way of maintaining a healthy and intimate relationship with the unknown, for recollection of those who died and an invitation to reflect on life and death. May we always remember that Dia de los Muertos isn't somber, it is a celebration. Que vivan!
I want to again thank everyone, because it always takes a village to bring people together and enjoy our celebrations. I want to thank you all for coming and participating, and I hope you have enjoyed our ceremony, and this concludes our event for tonight. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
any questions, let us know. And just thank you for having us.